Hey, welcome back to the Cable Guys. I'm Chris Holland, joined by Pat Dempsey. Welcome to episode 8. Pat, how are you tonight?
Doing all right. After it's kind of weird doing this on a Monday with all the technical difficulties we had on Saturday, but
Yep.
we're getting it in.
So, we were supposed to record on Saturday night, as we always do, but Pat couldn't get his microphone to work. I couldn't get my video to work. We both restarted our computers. Pat got a spinning wheel of death for a little while, and my computer decided it was going to install an update that was going to take about an hour. So, we contacted our guest and we said, hey, we're really sorry. We suck with technology. How about we do this Monday instead? And thankfully, he was gracious enough to let us push it back.
I think we probably should have taken it as a sign from our computers, being like, "Look, we see what you do every week.
Yeah,
Fucking terrible."
we appreciate that you guys try, but maybe call it quits.
Um,
So I
you,
mentioned that we had to text our guest and ask to push back. We're joined tonight by Brian Benulis of the Bay State Pirates, who formerly of the CABL, now of the MABL 28 plus division. So we talked to Brian a little bit about their exit from the CABL, what went into that, how they're recruiting now for the MABL 28 plus division, and just kind of a little bit of history behind the Pirates as well. So it was a fun chat, short chat, but I think Brian will probably join us. Maybe he'll be our 28 plus correspondent going forward, Pat.
I mean, I like it, and I tried to approach the interview. I guess. I mean, do we call these interviews? Or do we just?
Conversation.
Yeah. I tried to approach it more as a like, "Hey, I'm 27.
Yeah,
Just no."
as our skills deteriorate, let us know. If you need some bodies.
I tried to use it as like a, hey, I'm a cool guy. Like, let me play on your team.
He sees
But
right through it, I think.
I think so. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Yes. So that'll come up a little bit later. We'll talk to Brian. Like I said, short interview, but in the meantime, we did have another managers meeting this past week where, again, not to anybody's fault, their own, but not much moved along. There's not too many new updates. We're still waiting for the stay-at-home order to lift, which is scheduled to happen a week from right now, 6 days, I guess, from when you're listening. On May 18th, they're going to begin the phase one reopening of Massachusetts, which is essentially just essential businesses can start opening back up that aren't already open. I think almost essentials are already open, but I don't know how that. I don't know how we fall into that, Pat. I mean, I can't imagine that we're going to be considered an essential organization. So maybe it's going to depend on when towns start issuing permits for their parks, I guess.
I don't know. I hear Baker's a big men's league baseball guy, so
Big cable fan.
big cable guy.
Hasn't cut the cord yet.
So I definitely don't think we're obviously not going to be in the first wave. I think what I read earlier today, it was like a 4-stage
Yeah.
process that is going to be happening. We're definitely not in the first stage. Don't think we're going to be in the second. But who knows? I mean, these people make those decisions. I obviously just sit here and make shitty podcasts for
Correct.
like.
But they don't have any guidelines, or I didn't see any guidelines as far as that reopening goes as to how many people they're going to allow to gather in one place at once.
Yeah.
What they're going to do for outdoor like leisure activities. Obviously, golf just opened up in Massachusetts last week, so at least there's something coming back. So I don't know. We'll see. I guess it's all going to depend on when towns are comfortable issuing permits for people to use their parks and assuming that potential liability, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, I said this a few weeks ago where I was slowly starting to go crazy without leaving my 1-bedroom apartment, and it was before I actually went full blown crazy. I was like, I'm thinking about this, trying to do like baby steps. Like, obviously, baseball's not going to start for a while. First thing I want to do is I want to get out and go golfing. Then that's happened. So now, next thing is like, let's get a date to start baseball and figure it out from there. And
True.
that's going to be the next thing that comes up. I mean, hopefully at some point soon. We're doing these things weekly, so next Monday, like you were saying, the 18th,
Yeah. Hopefully we actually have some updates.
things start to open up. So we might have some more information then.
Yeah. I mean, I know that we've previously discussed the Cranberry League's planning on starting late June. The Boston Parks League and the Inner City League are both planning on starting early July, I think.
MLB too.
What was that?
MLB was planning on starting in July too.
Yeah, it's true. So I don't. Hopefully, baseball's on the horizon. It's not of the utmost importance right now, but it's something that we need to do. It's important to me. Damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all leagues are clearly in the same boat right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's hearing from Brian the conversation of how things compare between us and what's going on in their league is very eerily similar.
Yes.
I know a lot of leagues have been putting out, like we've talked about before, those crazy weird rules that people are going to have to follow when we come back. And it doesn't sound like many places around here have been doing anything like that. I know, what was the league that we were talking about before?
Nick Benulis League, the over 30 league.
Yeah, we did mention the over 30 league, what they're doing a little bit.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there's a lot of them that I can get behind, but a lot of them that are kind of just super weird, and I don't know how you even do that. I mean, limiting fans is going to be super easy.
Right. We don't have to worry about super large gatherings in our stands. You can get guys to wear masks. It's not going to be comfortable playing with it, but it can be done. Guys can umpire from behind the mound. I don't love it, but it can be done. The biggest issue is going to come down to sharing equipment, which we shouldn't be doing, but you can't reasonably.
We've had that discussion before, not on here, where you were like, I mean, yeah, we have team helmets. Like, obviously, a lot of people have team helmets. I mean, personally, I have my own. You have your own. So
yeah,
we have to have a bunch of guys go out and get helmets. Who knows? But you were mentioning catcher's gear. Like, we have a set of team catcher's gear.
Yep.
It's really your gear that you put in the team bag and we bring to every game in case something happens. But I think at this point, the biggest thing we need to consider in sharing equipment is the helmets, because at this age, if you're playing baseball and you're playing a position, if you're a catcher, generally you probably have your own stuff.
Yeah, we've got 5 or 6 guys on the team already that have their own catcher's equipment. So I'm not super worried about catcher's equipment. It's helmets, it's baseballs, and it's if they expect us to social distance while we're at the game, we're not going to be able to use the dugouts. There's one way in, one way out. At Plymouth at least, they're pretty small dugouts. So what are we going to have to spread out like down the line or sit up in the little set of bleachers that we have there? It's just it's interesting to like. I guess once guidelines start to get put into place, if we put any, strict guidelines into place, it's going to be interesting to see how teams react to that at different ballparks.
It's definitely going to be a different game no matter where you're playing.
It's going to look like the 100-inning game. Everybody's just going to be spread out down the line in lawn chairs.
Yeah, which
not the worst thing in the world, actually. Huh?
Can I drink like I do during the 100-inning game? Do I get to pitch?
That's definitely not. Definitely not. But I don't know. So we don't have any real updates on the cable. We're trying to start June 14th. We're still trying to play a 22-game season. We're still trying to play a full playoff schedule. But if we get pushed back any further, we're going to have to start getting creative and probably start to cut games out. I think the first cut would go 22 to 18 games. If we got to go further, you cut out another 2 and go to 16 games. You start taking away matchups out of the division. At some point, it becomes maybe you just play the teams in your own division a few times and jump right into the playoffs if that's what it takes. It's if we can't start soon, it's going to get weird.
Yeah, and we've had that conversation in the managers' meetings too, where everyone's like, why don't we just grab a field on a Sunday, play all these games there? But, you have to think scheduling all that is going to be difficult. Like, you're going to have to play a bunch of split doubleheaders. Okay, not the end of the world, but now you have to manage all those teams who's playing who and all that stuff. Like, and maybe we don't get the permits for the field. I know we have some ins on some fields, which is great. And if we can do that, where say we go to World Series, we play a 10 a.m. game and then a 4 o'clock game, like whatever, that's fine. I'm not opposed to it, but there are just a lot of things that are moving that we don't know fully yet, and we're hopefully going to be finding out in the next few weeks, like we've been saying every week.
Yeah, I just want to play baseball, man. I prefer a full schedule, but I'll take abbreviated at this point to an extent. I don't want to get in super abbreviated.
So from what we've been saying before, like how I was starting to go crazy, and now that I was able to play golf and everything, like that's good. I shot pretty good, just not going to toot my own horn or anything. But it sounds like we kind of swapped a little bit. I'm now getting excited for the season, and you're just like, I really need this. I need to get going. Like, you have a huge beard now. I don't know what the hell's going on in your face.
Nothing good. Nothing good. It's just going on under here, too.
Shave it.
My wife won't let me. She wants to see what happens with it.
It's going to grow.
It's going to grow. That's what I've told her. But it's here for now.
Who knows? At some point, you might not like it right now, but it's going to grow on you.
Mm.
Come on, man. That was funny.
I appreciate the effort. Yeah, I mean, I am going crazy. I need to get out of the house. I mean,
Yeah.
We went and saw both of our mothers yesterday, so we got out of the house a little bit and was able. That's the first time I think it's the first time I've been out of Attleboro for anything aside from picking up food in 6 or 7 weeks.
I filled up my gas tank 2 months ago, and
Same.
I'm at half a tank right now.
The last time I filled up my gas tank was the last time we had practice. It was that weekend. It's been too long. So now I need to get out golfing because I didn't come golfing with you on Friday because I actually had work to do like an adult. But
I had work to do. I took a mental personal day.
There you go. I'm proud of you. Got to address the mental health.
That's right.
I was talking with my brother because he wants to pitch. We want to do some live ABs. So maybe once this ban gets lifted, we can get some of the guys together and do live at bats and kind of controlled scrimmages on our own. So that might be kind of fun.
For the Wild Thing glasses?
That's me, not him. I'm not pitching.
Yeah, but he wore them before.
No, he just has the clear lenses.
No.
He thinks he's Tyler Clippard or something. So maybe we can do that, get a couple of the guys together and hit, and it's better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
I've got some Evo shields coming in this week, so that's exciting.
What'd you get?
An elbow guard and a shin guard.
You got a shin guard too?
I did.
You really needed something baseball to get going.
Yeah, this is the issue. I have so much money now, and because I'm not going out and spending it, I don't have crazy credit card bills because I'm not spending it on anything. So I'm like, I can save some money, but then I've got all this money left. What do I do with it? I'm going to buy baseball shit. So I got Evo shields. I got myself some apparel from Squad Locker.
Yeah, we've talked about this where this is a very tough situation for a lot of people, and I'm very empathetic about that. Like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff at work for me has been slowing down, but I've been able to work from home. I'm still getting my paycheck, and then everything else that's been going on, I got my taxes back and the stimulus check and all that stuff. I hate to say this, but I'm doing pretty well financially, and this is the first time that's ever happened to me. You've known for a while, I've never been good financially. So,
I mean,
I'm looking at the bank account, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. What did I miss paying?
No, I mean, you're right. I want to be empathetic to people that aren't doing well, but I'm kind of in the same boat. I've been able to work from home and get my same paycheck, and my expenses have gone down so much because I'm not out doing stuff that right, and be able to stockpile some money. It's been good. Maybe the Senators can get some New Jerseys out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. Huh?
White ones?
Maybe. I wouldn't mind a whole gray uniform too. That'd be kind of nice.
Whole what?
Whole gray uniform. No, not feeling gray.
I want a retro white jersey.
All right, we can talk about it. I mean, we have talked about it, but
we'll do the white ones that are in the show league with the blue pants and everything.
I don't know about that one. I think T's the only one that could pull off those pants.
I went retro.
You certainly went retro. So I mean, yeah. What other CABL? Huh?
Baseball's back in Korea.
It is. I've been. The dog gets me up at 5:30 in the morning, so I'll get up with him, let him out, feed him some breakfast, and then sit on the couch and watch Korean League baseball.
So I haven't watched any of it. What is it on? Is it on ESPN?
It's ESPN2 mostly, but
not the Ocho.
Not the Ocho. Maybe it should be on the Ocho.
I read a crazy article about Korean baseball the other day. It was about an American guy who went there to watch it, and it's just a completely different culture.
Oh yeah.
I was having the conversation with my brother the other day too. He's like, they throw 80 miles an hour. An average high school player could go over there and just be a star. I was like, no. First off, because okay, they don't throw hard, but I don't the average pitcher in Korea, the Korean Baseball League, probably has more movement on his pitches than the average pitcher in America.
Yes.
Which, if you go over there, you haven't seen anything like that before. It's going to take a while for you to get used to.
Yeah, you're right. They don't throw hard. I think they probably sit. Huh?
They throw backwards too, where they're gonna throw you a curveball, 0-2, when you're sitting fastball and you're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, no, I mean they've got to get crafty because they don't. they don't throw as hard. I think the average probably is upper 80s. The hitters are more disciplined to not strike out. They're not really looking for the big home run, so they're up there fouling pitches off, fouling pitches off, fouling pitches off, and they'll take pitches. They're looking for singles. They're not up there swinging out of their ass like MLB hitters are. So it's a whole different ball game. The big thing that keeps coming up on the broadcast is the foreign players that go over there.
They have
each
three
team's
team,
own,
right?
huh?
3 per team, right?
Yeah, you're only allowed 3 per teams, and it puts a ton of pressure on the foreign guys because those are the guys that are making the most money. Those are the guys that are
pissed at you.
Huh?
If you're not producing, they're gonna get pissed at you. And
exactly.
Yeah.
But if you are producing, they fucking love them over there. They're fan favorites.
Well, the thing that I was reading was like, yeah, this guy just like everyone was just sitting there eating their food, their octopus balls, or there was some weird stuff that they were talking about they were eating, and then just the bottom of the first inning when the home team starts hitting, some guy just walks up on top of the dugout, just this crazy outfit. All these like girls get up dancing.
Yeah, they got cheerleaders.
The cheermaster. And I was like, whoa, what? And then the whole place broke out into this choreographed dance. I was like,
it's like
no way.
It's almost like soccer over there. They have like specific chants and whatnot.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So then
the cheerleaders are still there dancing on the dugouts now, even though there's no fans.
No.
Yeah, they were talking about on the broadcast, like, well, the players enjoy it. They like know all the cheers and songs, so they keep them there.
But then
did you see? Hold on, one more thing. Did you see one of the teams has started using cardboard cutouts to put behind the plate, so it looks like there's fans? That's so goddamn funny.
Which it reminds me of like playing the show or something, because like when they'll show the crowd, it'll show like everyone in the crowd, but then like the guy right here and the guy right here, the same person.
Yep. There's only so many molds that they have. Huh?
They might have like a different color.
Just different shirt. Yeah.
The same movements and everything.
One of my favorite things to do with like the pitching modes, like the broadcast mode, when you're looking at the plate in MLB The Show, there's always at least one person behind the plate with like a pretzel, and
then just goes.
The person changes every time the camera angle like moves away. So it comes back and like the guy sitting in row 1 C has it, and then the guy in 2E has it, and then over in 4F they have it, and it's hilarious.
So we're playing Find the Pretzel.
Yeah, that's probably why I lose a lot of games. I get distracted by who has the pretzel and I just throw fastballs down the dick.
But then the other thing that this article was going into was that since it's such a different culture and they're doing everything so differently over there, they bat flip everything. Like everything. Like, yeah, this big dude got up and like hit a home run and he bat flipped it, and the pitcher was just like, all right, give me another ball. And then the next guy comes up and hits a single to right field and he's like, bah!
There was one that I saw where the guy like hit it and was spinning, and he bat flipped it behind his back, and then he turned around and ran. And I think it was just a single in the gap. They're great.
I think it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Maybe we should start doing that.
I think we might need to get Terrio on sooner than we would like again, just to have that old man versus new school mentality argument between bat flips. See what he says.
Maybe. He's a big game polices itself type guy, I think. So he might not be a huge fan of the bat flips, but maybe he is. He might like the theatrics.
That's why I want to have the conversation.
Yeah. Maybe we should start bat flipping singles and walks and pop outs and everything. Just pop up everything.
I feel like I do. If I walk, I take my time and like, ooh, look at this elbow guard.
I flip everything.
Take my helmet off. I'm like, oh shit, I need that.
Actually, I tend to pimp my walks a little bit. If I walk and we're sitting on the third base dugout, I'll like watch the pitch go and I'll take my bat and windmill it over back to the dugout.
There's one that you do that I like. You take the pitch and you're like,
oh yeah.
You like look at it and you're like, okay.
There was one, I remember we were sitting first base side. I think it was like a 3-0 count, and I recognized the pitch immediately. It was a ball. I think I started walking before it got to the plate, and I just took my bat and went, whoop, and bat tossed, like, almost took a swing and flipped it back towards the dugout. And someone was like, did you just bat flip a walk? I went, you're goddamn right I did. I don't hit home runs. I got to bat flip something.
So I know we mentioned before that we're in cahoots to play in that Rhode Island League.
Yeah.
Which Brian brought up in the conversation. Could be pretty interesting. I was reading another thing today because all I do is read articles now, apparently. That there's a course on the Rhode Island-Massachusetts border that now is allowing, like, obviously people from both areas to play. The people from Rhode Island can play the whole course, and they can use a cart. But the people from Massachusetts, when they come, They can't play the 1st, the 10th, or get to the green on the 18th because those parts of the course are in Rhode Island, like, land.
Well, that's ridiculous.
So they can't play those holes, and they have to walk while the people from Rhode Island can use a cart.
Is that like that's probably the golf course that I live like 5 minutes from, like Pawtucket Country Club or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't remember it at the top, but I was like, if you say it, I'll know it.
Yeah.
So that is like going on, I guess. So we may be in a situation where we could start in Rhode Island sooner than we were able to start in Massachusetts or
Maybe.
something like that. So it could be interesting too.
Maybe. I mean, I'd be down for it. I just want to play baseball. I'd
Really?
prefer it be for the Senators, but
You haven't mentioned that before.
I know. I say it a lot. It's a crutch.
Who knows? So do you want to record an outro for this thing or anything, or do you just want to throw it to Brian and be like, all right, later? You're frozen. I'm talking to myself. Oh, no. I don't thrive in these situations. Chris? Come back. Chris? Getting nervous. All right. Well, on that note, I will throw it over to Brian like I was talking about. And after that, we will kind of just end the episode there. So we appreciate you guys listening in as always. Like we always say, let us know if you have any ideas, thoughts, criticism. Don't hold criticisms because I don't like and I'm on there. I don't like criticism, but we'll take it, I guess. And we'll do whatever we can. We are doing this because we're going crazy. So if we can make it entertaining for you and also keep us from being super bored, we'll do that as well. And we will see you all next Tuesday. Later. Now.
All right, we welcome on Brian Benulis. Did I pronounce that right? Benulis?
Benulis.
Sorry. Brian Benulis of the Bay State Pirates, formerly of the CABL. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're good. So thank you for joining us tonight. And obviously I just said formerly of the CABL, so we'll just start right there. What went into the decision to switch leagues this year?
Well, we've been in the league for a while, as you know.
Yeah.
We are an original team. Originally, we were not the Pirates. We were called We Got Corn.
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
So I guess before going into our decision why we left or whatever, I can go a little bit back from the origins of the team.
Sure, please do.
So
Did
Kyle
you run out of corn?
I don't know if you guys know him at all. But
Really just by
he
name.
made the RRBL. So
Okay.
he was on our team. He was our first baseman for a while. Him and his brother ran the league. I think originally there was like 4 teams maybe. I want to say it was 06. 06 was the first year we got corn. It was either 05 or 06, and then the next year we won the championship as we got corn. And then I think a couple years later we changed to the Pirates. And then the RBL, as you know it, was kind of the same as the CABL now. I think it was probably like 8 or 10 teams, but now there's like 14 or 12 every year or something like that. A lot of our guys, so it's me, Paul Azeltine, Jory Curran. Those are the guys that have been on the team the longest. Jory and I were rookies in 11 or 10 or something like that. Paul's been on the team since 07. Yeah, so his rookie year, they won the championship, which was the second year of the league. And so Paul's been around a long time. We're mid to late 30s. We were kind of toying with the idea last year. We were getting a little – there's a lot of – it's not just one reason. There was a few different things. We're getting older. We're all getting – some of us are having kids. We're a little bit laid-back guys, so we're not really, like, too into it. Like, we care about winning. We care about the league. We care about, having fun and stuff, but – it just became apparent that it just wasn't a match, I think.
Meaning
we were constantly trying to keep up, right? We're trying to recruit these younger kids. We're trying to look at these college kids coming out, trying to get better, trying to be more competitive. Obviously, for years we've been kind of mediocre to sub-mediocre. Would that describe the Pirates pretty much?
I suppose, yeah.
We're trying to get these younger kids to play, and it's like a lot of them are being unreliable. We're having trouble getting them to show up. we're having trouble getting them to pay, which was a big one.
Yep.
And we were just getting tired of running through that gauntlet every year, trying to get these younger kids. Occasionally we find a couple kids that are pretty good. I think we found Jackson Schuyler was a good kid. But then there was a few other ones where we were just getting sick and tired of, chasing these guys to play, chasing them to pay. And we just thought, moving to a different league, we'd get a lot more players that are a little bit more committed, a little bit more of a set schedule.
Sure.
They're not going out and getting drunk before a game, the night before and be like, oh shit, I'm on Cape Cod. I can't make the 10 a.m. game,
Waiting till after the game.
Yeah, no call, no show sort of thing, which happened a lot.
Yeah.
So that was one of the reasons. And, I don't want to, name any names, but there's some young guys who last year were a little bit too intense. And
I think we know who you're referring to.
I think you probably do. And, he told me, I think second to last game last year, Andy Burkett comes up to me, he says, I think this is my last year. I think I'm done. And later on, I found out that the sole reason he wanted to quit is because he didn't find it fun anymore, because some of those this psycho or kids who don't play, kids are going fucking crazy in the dugout.
Mm-hmm.
It took the fun out of the game for him a little bit, and it took the fun out of our team a little bit. It kind of changed the chemistry, and we wanted to stick to our core and keep our core, and we were just kind of done with doing the same thing over and again. We don't have any ill will towards any of the other teams in the league or maybe on the board or anything. I mean, we love you guys. You guys are probably one of our favorite teams.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We always love playing you guys too. I mean, you did add a few guys like we were mentioning that really did probably bolster your team whenever you played us. We feel like we saw a few new guys, but all like your core group of guys like you, Paul, Jory, like all them, whenever we would always chat and have a good time and just hang out, and that was basically the whole thing. Like you're saying, you guys weren't having fun, so why put up with any of the other shit? Like,
yeah, we played with Todd in the 100-inning games a few times, and he caught for both of us a lot. He's a good dude.
Yeah, so Todd and Nate, and Dan Brookfield, those are the Sharon boys, we like to call them. They're like, they all went to high school together. They're kind of the core of our team too. Those guys had become our core. We recruited another guy out of Sharon this year. So looking forward to that. Another one of their high school buddies.
So how many of the guys that were previously on the team are you taking with you, and how many did you have to replace going into this season?
Well, really the only guys that we didn't take with us was Matt, Sean, and Tyler.
Okay. Yeah, the three younger
Everybody
guys.
else is kind of coming with us is old enough. Those guys obviously couldn't join a old man league. So
I know that Sean and Matt ended up with the Rockies. Is Tyler sticking around in the league, or is he playing elsewhere?
From what I know, he's on the Braves.
Oh, okay. That's a good pickup for them.
Yep.
He hit a ball against us last year down in Plymouth that's the furthest ball I'd seen hit there all year. And
he almost took out a window in the house across the street.
Yeah, I get on first base late in the game, and I looked at him and said, hey, man, did you pimp that one? He goes, oh, yeah. I said, good. You deserve to.
Well, none of us saw it. We were all turned around trying to figure out where the ball went. And we're like, I turned around, I looked at my left fielder, I was like, oh my God.
Well, I remember that game because that was his first game with us that year. And I was like, he was one of those guys who was like unreliable. I was like, sometimes we'll be like, oh, you coming? He'd be like, yeah, and then he doesn't show up. And
yeah.
Or this one, we were like, this is his first game of the year, and his buddy, who we had on the team before, Tomas. I don't know if the name sounds Tomas Puello.
I recognize the name.
He was like a really good player for us. I mean, he was like young, right out of college. He was like 400 hitter. He played shortstop, second base, and so we were like chatting with him. He's like, "Oh yeah, Tyler's going to play this year." And I was like, "Okay, I don't know." And then all of a sudden, he just shows up at that game. We're like, "Okay, we'll pinch hit you in the first game." And then the second game he starts, hits the bomb. I think that went like really high. I lost it. I thought it was a pop up or something. And then it just kept sailing and sailing and sailing. And I see it bounce off the street, like in front of the house.
Yeah, he got all of that one.
Yeah, he's a good kid. He's pretty quiet. Didn't really like mingle with the rest of the team, so it was like kind of a weird fit. I don't know if he thought he was better than everybody, or he's just shy kid, or
Mm-hmm.
couldn't really tell what was going on with him. He didn't, again, personality wasn't really a good fit for us. So.
Yeah, sometimes it's just not a fit with the team.
Yeah.
So I mean, you say you take most of your guys with you. The core group of your team has been together for, I mean, since we've been in the league now, at least, right? So
Probably since
from
the beginning of the CABL, it's
So
we're down to about 8 is a core group of guys, and
okay.
This off season we, we're going into this new league. We're like, okay, we got to recruit some more guys, and fortunately, we did a really good job. I think we got 3 really good pitchers. This one guy's throwing high 80s. Another guy I said was from Sharon, and then this other guy plays from pickup basketball with Dan Brookfield. And we didn't expect anything out of him. He starts throwing, and we're like, holy shit, this guy is like pinpoint control. And we're like kind of wishing we went back to the CABL. I thought we'd be competitive with these new guys, but unfortunately,
so that's where
we don't even know if we're going to be playing it at all. So
I mean, that's kind of where my next question was going as far as recruiting goes. Has the core group been the ones that have been able to like bring guys in, or has it been? Do you know a lot of guys that are 28 plus to be able to play in this, or how do you guys go about recruiting for an older league?
We figured we would be able to recruit a little easier than going after young guys who aren't a good fit with our team. Our core, mid-30s, some guy coming out of college. Like we've had this happen before. It's like, oh, this is like an old man's league. All these guys are in their 30s. Like I want to find a team or a league that's more in line with people my age or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it just became harder and harder, and it didn't mesh as well every year, and So we actually, we found a guys, through buddies of our own, like Dan's friend, Todd's friend, and then we found a couple of guys off the player pool in the other league, and they turned out to be really good. So, we got 13 or 14 guys, and we're probably going to add a couple more, or go from there.
Nice. Were you able to take any of the older guys from the CABL to kind of double dip?
Oh, like on other teams?
Yeah.
Didn't really reach out to anybody. Didn't really. If there was an older guy out there, I don't know.
I think
who would want to play, and I don't know, like if we want them to play, if they're they suck,
It's probably tough too, because I think you guys are still going to play,
but
you guys still play primarily Sundays in the new league, right?
It's pretty much almost the same thing.
Yeah,
it is. Like we did a few managers meetings, and they bring up the same stupid issues like playoff eligibility.
Yeah.
Like how many games are we playing this year? 22. We played 20 last year.
Yeah.
How are we gonna do playoffs this year? Are we gonna do College World Series? We're gonna do single elimination. Like same stuff that we talk about in our league. Same issues.
It sounds like you've been sitting in on our meetings this off season.
Oh, really? Well, I'll say we have a lot less meetings. I don't know why you guys meet like every month. Like it was pointless. You'd walk into those meetings and like talk about 2 things, and it's like, okay, we'll see you next month. I was like, what's changing? Why do we have to have these meetings?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, that's what's happening in this league. They're like, well, we had a meeting before, I think it was back in January, but it was on anybody's mind or something. And then it was like, then they had a big Zoom call with all the managers or whatever, I think in late March, and like, well, we're on lockdown until May or something, so we can't really change anything. Like we can have a best case scenario plan for lockdown gets lifted, and maybe there'll be a week or 2 before towns will start issuing permits or whatever. And that's our best case scenario, but there's not really a reason to hammer the same point home. Another 2 or 3 meetings until then. Let's just
Yeah. So what is the intended start date right now for you guys?
It's whenever the stay-at-home order is lifted, which is whatever May. What is it? May
18th, hopefully.
18th.
Yeah.
I figure it might be a week or 2 to get permits. It might be another week to get everything in line. Best case scenario, maybe 2nd or 3rd week of June.
Yeah.
And that's best case scenario. So.
Yep. That's kind of the same time frame we're aiming for right now. I think we're looking at June 14th for an opening day if we're lucky. But
There hasn't been any talk about rules, and getting into that. It's like, the way I've always managed and the way Jory's always managed us, it's like, whatever the league decides, we're pretty much game with, unless it's something ridiculous. Like, we don't really care about being in on those conversations and, oh, we're going to wear a mask and on deck, or people can attend the game. But like, I don't think there's really been discussion on that. There's been a discussion on, hey, can you just reach out to your town and get an idea of if they're or when they're going to issue it.
Right.
That's kind of the biggest thing I think is going to hold a lot of this up. Because we reached out to Dedham, and they're like, oh, we haven't even thought about it. Like we're just waiting until they lift the stay at home. Like, until then, I can't say anything. So.
Yeah, that's kind of the same communication I've been getting from Plymouth. It's just kind of like, well, we don't really know. We'll know more next week. We'll know more next week. We'll know more next week. So.
I mean, everybody's kind of in the same boat as we are.
Right.
They don't know.
Right.
Until something starts moving.
Yeah.
Then we can start making decisions. So.
Yep. I mean, I know we've got some teams that have reached out, and I think the Royals, Canton's not issuing permits until July 1st. Bill Ricca's not issuing permits until July, which is like we have 3 new teams in Lowell this year. I think some of them are going to try and use Bill Ricca and fields up there. And
3 new teams out of Lowell?
Yeah. Yep. There's 2 that came over from the Greater Lowell Baseball Association. And then Brandon Anderson started a new team. He's played for the Gators for a couple of years.
He actually reached out to me if he could poach any of our players. I said,
no.
Too late. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
What about like Cranberry League? Don't those guys play South, or I mean, those guys get their own league or whatever, I guess. So
we've got Pat and I both have a pretty good. I've got a pretty good relationship with the Rockland Cardinals manager. Pat knows him, and Pat. So since we came to the league, we've tried to establish a kind of relationship there to be like, hey, guys that need more at bats, send them our way, or guys that maybe are just on the fringe, send them our way. We could use bodies, and every year is like, oh yeah, sounds good, and then it just never happens. So there's a Plymouth Cranberry team now. We've got 2 or 3 guys that also play for them. So hopefully that kind of begins a relationship there, and we can feed talent that way. We'll see. But
yeah, sounds good. I know that story, and then you never hear from the person.
Correct.
No, sounds good.
Pat and I are getting towards that age group, so once we can't compete in this league anymore.
You guys are pretty good. You guys are above mediocre to good, but not great, right? That's kind of your MO, right?
Yeah, we tell people that we're aggressively mediocre. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So you guys are still trying to use Dedham this year. Where are the other teams in the league located? Is it broken up in divisions like we are, or are you kind of going to be traveling all over the place?
It's eerie how similar it is. Like we stated we have Dedham, and immediately after the first meeting, we had 3 other teams come up to us, say, hey, we should get our games at Dedham. We should play there because we don't want to travel up to Lynn. Yeah. So it's the same deal. Yeah. So I think there's some teams that are North Shore. There's a good faction there. I honestly haven't looked at it too much. This past few months I've been, we switched leagues, and then all of a sudden it was like we had a few practices, whatever, and then it shut down. And I haven't really thought about anything.
Gotcha.
I haven't really researched the league too much. We're not that type of team, right?
Yeah.
We just want to play.
Yeah,
all we want to do is play. So
that's the right mentality to have.
Yeah.
I spend too much time researching different players in the league and different teams and whatnot, and it's probably not healthy.
You have no idea when it comes to research. Our former manager, Dave Ascoli, he would send out Excel sheets before every week with every team's career stats, career pitching stats, and even career stats versus certain pitchers.
So that bringing up that name, actually,
I could just throw to you guys because we're not even in the league anymore. You can have all the archive stats and all the matchups, whatever you want. I'll send it your way.
I think I'd be the only one that would look at it. I'd try and tell people, and they'd be like, "No, we don't care. We're just going to play baseball."
That's pretty much what would happen. It would be like, oh, well, this guy's killed you, so maybe just walk him or something, and then Paul would be like, fuck that.
So bringing up that name actually leads me to a different question. Dave Ascoli's a URI grad, correct? You don't know?
I believe so. I know he does like blogging for URI basketball. I don't know if he actually went there.
That's where I was going, because there's a Twitter account called Rhodey Rampage, which I believe belongs to Dave.
It does.
I had been going through. I'm a URI grad, so I'm a big URI basketball fan, and like the A10 accounts had posted something like, we pulled all these different accounts. It was like Dave Ascoli from Rhodey Rampage. I'm like, where do I know that name from?
Yeah, I think he actually went to Stonehill College, but I've heard he's from Rhode Island, so he's like a big URI guy. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that just reminded me of that, and that's small world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have any more questions about the new league. Pat, do you have anything that you're curious about, or the history in the CABL? Oh yeah, we got corn.
Yep. I was not there for that. I joined in 11, so we changed our name, I don't know, sometime in 08, 09 or something.
Any idea what the origin of that name was?
We got corn it comes from, we got one out, so it's we got corn, and then we got ears. It's 2 outs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I never heard of that. I had never heard of it until I joined the team either, so.
That makes me feel
not
better.
Alone.
Interesting. Yeah. Correct. Which is why we started doing this, because we want baseball, and this is the closest thing we can get besides MLB The Show.
I'm feeling it. Last week it was like Sunday. It was like 70. It was perfect. It was tough,
I look forward to like Saturday nights where it's like crappy and rainy, because I can be like, good, we wouldn't have played tomorrow anyways. I like to think it's a little healthy amount of skepticism.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rain. We probably would have rained out a bunch of them anyway.
Yeah, that makes me feel a little bit better. But Brian, thanks for joining us tonight. Sorry we couldn't do it Saturday because we had our technological issues. But
no problem at all.
Yeah, best of luck in your new league. Hopefully,
if you ever want to talk about anything else or bring me back on, if this goes all season, I'm happy to be back.
Perfect. Well, yeah, definitely. Good luck with the new league. I hope you guys have a bunch of success, and maybe Pat and I will be joining you in a couple of years if you need a couple of bodies.
How old are you?
We're both turning 28 this year.
Oh, well then you're eligible this year. So if you guys don't start and we start, maybe we'll add you.
We'll be in touch.
In whatever league that's playing, right?
So. That's the plan. All right, Brian. Yeah, have a good night. Take care.
All right, have a good one. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Pat.
You.
All right.